Good morning. I'm sitting in the hospital parking lot waiting to go see my colorectal surgeon. It's a follow-up, by the way. But to pick up where we left off, I have to go back in time. In the 90s, late 90s and 2000s up to 2012, I had chronic sinusitis that I was constantly being treated for. I had 6 sinus surgeries, okay? And in 1999, I had a sinus surgery by the surgeon over at Rush University who went into my ethmoid sinuses and basically found I had a terrible infection, which that doctor treated with antibiotics. Now, it went into my bones and my face, so I had osteomyelitis based on the path report. And by the way, I keep all my records, so I have documentation for all of this. And there's a reason. I'm really grateful that I kept all my records. And by the way, I don't know if you guys are going to be that interested in this story, because I think what it's going to end up being is that I have a rare disease. But fast forward, I had 6 sinus surgeries. I can't remember the exact years or months or whatever, but in 2006, I had a different ENT, and it's typical when you have recalcitrant or chronic sinusitis, they always take a culture to find out what bacteria you're growing so they can prescribe the right antibiotics. And this particular ENT did a culture and it came back Fusarium positive, which is a fungal infection. No doctors in the entire world have ever believed that I had a fungal infection in my sinuses, even though it showed up on the path report. Usually fungal infections occur with people who have HIV or might be going through chemotherapy, but not in a quote-unquote healthy person. Like, everybody's, I look and present healthy, okay? So the treatment for that almost killed me because I had to nebulize amphotericin B for 6 weeks to get rid of this infection. I had a nasal cannula and I had one of those nebulizer machines, and I would pour this like neon green amphotericin B solution in the nebulizer and I would breathe it in. And after 6 weeks, my lungs were completely destroyed. And I actually think I still have problems with my lungs, and I have some structural problems with my lungs that show up on CT scans that are a result of this nebulizing amphotericin B. So that was in 2006. And then I had at least, 3 more surgeries. And then maybe around 2010, 2012, my sinus infections started going away. And that is when my bowel problems started. So in 2007, I was having horrible bowel pain. And when I would do the CT scans or colonoscopies, they found a lot of inflammation in my bowel to the point where one of my GI doctors said, we have to remove part of your colon. So in 2008, I think it was, they removed a section of my colon. It's called a partial colectomy. And I was in the hospital, for about a week for that. It was the most excruciating pain I've ever had, and I did have a morphine pump that time, but they don't give those out anymore. So I had that partial colectomy, and I went about my business, and my bowel problems consisted of extreme pain, okay, for no reason, all right? Just pain in my lower left quadrant. So I lived with that until 2020. And during that time frame, I'm now on this really rigorous schedule of colonoscopies because they're sort of monitoring my situation. And now that I look at the time, I have to go in to my appointment to start a relationship with a new colorectal surgeon, and it's not because I'm having surgery, it's because I have to follow up and get a colonoscopy, and I have to have a serious conversation with them about what's been going on with me. because it's a lot more to this story than what I told you yesterday or today. And I'm going to leave and continue this later. Talk soon.